Hi, this video is going to go over the quotient rule for derivatives. So the quotient rule, like the product rule, is a formula that you're going to use. So the quotient rule is right here, and you're going to use this when you're taking the derivative of a fraction with a function on top and a function on the bottom. The rule is right here. A lot of people say that since this is the top, and this function is the bottom, we read this rule as saying this is the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom squared. Let's talk about how to use it. We'll do an easy example. So let's say you want to find the derivative of sine x over x squared plus 3x. So the top function is sine x. The derivative of that is going to be cosine x. The bottom is x squared plus 3x. The derivative of that is 2x plus 3. As you get better at this, you're not going to need to write that on the side. So applying the formula tells us that the derivative is the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom squared. At this point, I want you to stop the video, go to example 1, and try to do example 1 on your own. When you're done with that, you can resume the video. So you should have gotten 3x minus 1 times 4 minus 2x minus 4x minus x squared times 3 all over 3x minus 1 quantity squared. If you got that, you can skip ahead and we'll do example 9. If you'd like to see how I got that, you can watch more of this video. So again, we're going to call the top f of x. So the top is 4x minus x squared, and the derivative of that should be 4 minus 2x. The bottom function we'll call g, and the derivative of that is just 3 in this case. So when you apply the formula, the derivative is the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom squared. Next we'll go to example 9. So scroll down and find example 9. So here's example 9, which looks like a quotient. In fact, it is a quotient. But here's the question. How can you do this without using the quotient rule? Quotient rule is a complicated rule. If you can avoid it, you should. So think about that and pause if you want, and then I'll show you how to avoid the quotient rule with this. So the key is to rewrite before you differentiate. So you can rewrite this as the difference of two fractions with the same denominator. This is the same idea as adding fractions with a common denominator. We are separating them with a common denominator. And now, especially because they have monomial denominators, we can simplify them. Again, we haven't actually done any calculus here. We're just rewriting. The first function is a constant, and the second one is rather simple. In fact, we'll do one more rewrite so that you can see this is, in fact, a constant factor. So your derivative is just going to be 0 minus 1/4, or negative 1/4. So keep that in mind when you think you're going to use the quotient rule.